RPM Trade Vietnam in this bitch. Again, another live stream. Yo, I gotta say that it's not discouraging because I don't give a fuck like that. But it is disappointing though that I don't get more views on my videos and that I don't have more followers. It's crazy. Because I really couldn't imagine any gun owner who is serious about gun ownership, especially in the political climate that we got going on in this country. I couldn't imagine y'all hearing me and then thinking that I'm fucking stupid and that you don't like me, that maybe I'm really out here to hurt the American people. It will be the opposite. That's the opposite of what you would think of me if you knew me. And that's a goddamn fucking shame, because I think the shadow ban and all the bullshit that's going on, it is the reason why I don't have a million subs right now. There's a lot of YouTube channels that deserve to be way bigger than what they are. Gematria Effect News 25. The 25 is for the number of channels that this man has had to make to continue his work, because he keeps getting canceled and deleted and all this other shit over dumbass reasons, because all he's doing is gathering fucking information and repeating it in the way that he thinks and feels is proper according to the tools that he is using to analyze this information. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with that. So the fact that Zach had to make 25 fucking channels just to get his shit off is ridiculous to me. Leave the man alone. Let him do his fucking thing. Who the fuck goes out here and says you're wrong and I gotta cancel you for being wrong? Motherfucker, if I made a fucking video that said I'm going to give you 5 top recipes in 2024, the top 5 holiday recipes for 2024, and then every fucking thing on the list is the top 5 fucking guns in my gun collection, they wouldn't remove my video for misinformation. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do none of that type of shit, bro. They don't give a fuck about you being wrong, being silly, being inaccurate, or misunderstanding information. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They hate it when it's the information that they want to take control of and you're giving them, the people, the real juice. We just had to hit our fucking brakes for a fucking mother ducking 3 of her ducklings walking across the fucking street. I was wondering what this car was doing, stopping so hard, so far away from the next intersection. What are you doing? Trying not to hit some ducks, and then I hit you, and the car behind me hit me, and then you run the fucking ducks over. Like, at least don't slam your fucking brakes. That was kind of abrupt. But yeah, man, the censorship and all that shit is crazy to me, because it's not about the First Amendment and the freedom of speech. It's not about that. The day I was born, I was already endowed with the right to say what the fuck I want to say, even if I'm fucking wrong. If not, if I can't do that and I need a constitution to do that, who's going to tell me not to say whatever the fuck I want, and where did they get the power from to think that they could even do that? Where would the power even come from for you to try to stop me from saying what I'm going to say? Don't you see I don't need no constitution to tell me I can say what the fuck I want? It's already too late. I'm already here with my own mind and my own ideas, and I'm probably just going to say that shit, and anybody who wants to stop me is going to have to physically do something to me, because I'm not going to listen to you when you say, hey, don't say that. I'm not going to fucking listen to you, motherfucker. And then you give in to the censorship because it appeases you, all in your racial divide and your political divide, and you want other people to not be able to say certain things. They're going to turn that towards you and tell you not to say shit. If you applaud them when they're taking down monuments, Civil War monuments and shit like that, Confederate flags and shit, if that makes you feel better as a black person, when you know goddamn well that didn't change the hearts or the minds of the real racist people, that didn't change their hearts and minds. The actual energy behind doing something to your life to fuck with you is still there. Symbols got removed and you got happy like you just won something. You didn't win shit, idiot. Now, if you want to talk about how proud you are of being black, they can say that sounds like hate speech from the other side. Reverse racism. You can't say that. Stupid. But y'all dumbasses. Fucking hate, man. Especially when y'all pretend to be all virtuous and shit. Shut your dumb ass up. I fucking hate stupid people. You're making it harder out here for the rest of us because you're so dumb and emotional. Dumb, emotional people are the hardest people to talk to. You're never going to reason with them. They won't even let you save them, and they're not smart enough or thinking clearly enough to save themselves. It's a train wreck of a situation to be in a country or a world like this. They have to deal with all these motherfucking people. Now, the way I just described people, you know that that's how it is. Everybody got their own opinion. People butt heads. People divide over dumb things. You can't even get from point A to point B without crossing a dumb driver. Some of y'all don't even like your own fucking children, their personalities, whatever makes them tick. Sometimes y'all carry this dislike all into your adulthood and shit like that. And then parent and child can't even get along in their adulthood. Y'all can't rise above. Right? So you know that this is how it is. People could just get into conflict about things, and maybe forever. It might forever cement their relationship into drama, turmoil, disagreement, even a slight disregard for safety and happiness between these people. Right? You know that that'll happen with you and your loved ones. It'll happen. If you don't think that wouldn't, if you think that wouldn't happen out here in the world at large, towards you because you think you're a good person, you're crazy. You're out of your fucking mind. You can be the better person and it wouldn't matter. Adversities and conflict will come to you no matter what. It's how the world works. Now, considering all of that, does it even sound like it makes sense? Number one, for these same people to pick a ruler for me and you, that don't make no sense, right? It sounds like a bad idea. So the idea of the vote sounds like a bad idea, even if it was legit. But the fact that it's not legit is a whole nother fucking story. But consider this side now. Do you think that all of these dumbass people that can't figure out how to get from A to B without causing a fucking unnecessary conflict while blaming you for they fuck ups in traffic with the road rage and all that other shit, do you think that they will allow these kinds of people, the poorly educated, the drug addicts, the people with the childhood traumas that they have not addressed, which I think is at the root of every fucking social problem that we have. Every one of them, that's at the root of it. Childhood trauma. Sometimes it's mental, emotional, or educational. Sometimes it's physical, sexual. But there's some trauma and things that are happening in our childhood that we couldn't let go of or reconcile, and then we bring it into our adulthood. And then sometimes people blame other people for their own shortcomings in social interaction, which I'm going to get to in a second about the social interaction between you and other people. But do you think the ones that want to rule the world would allow these same people who I'm talking this shit about to dictate where the country and thus the world will go? I want you to answer the fucking question, people. I don't give a fuck about you going, you said votes don't matter and that was a civil rights movement for you to be able to vote. Shut your pussy ass up and answer the fucking question. People always trying to call you inside of their game to try to justify their game when I'm telling you that the game is unjustifiable. The game is fucked up. So don't step inside of it to tell me that you got a justification. There is no justification. They are not going to let you same dumb-ass drivers, drug addicts, victims of child abuse who may now be abusing your child, mentally, emotionally, sexually, whatever, because y'all are all fucking weird. People are weird. Get used to it. You know that it's true when I say it. You can think of 1,000 fucking times you had to come in contact with a dumbass fucking idiot in public that made a big deal out of something that you could have walked away from or not noticed or not even been involved in. And here you are involved in what? Fuck out of here. Y'all don't be applying, y'all don't apply stuff. What is with the lack of application of these things that we all know to be true? They're not going to let you same motherfuckers dictate where the country goes. It makes no sense to think that the fucking vote will be real. They will be prone at every angle to sabotage their own work, their hard work of the long plan and what it is that they've been wanting to do. Agenda 2025, 2030, all this other shit. And that's just the tip of the fucking iceberg, dick. Fucking goofies. They are not going to let you ruin that shit. They already don't trust, like, or respect you. Don't care about you at all. You could die. They don't give a fuck. You don't know what Operation Northwoods is. You need to fucking brush up on your shit to ask me why I would say the things that I say. Yo, the Trump thing is suspicious. I don't care what you say. To pretend like it's not as ridiculous. To make excuses for them is fucking absurd. I'm tired of hearing it. Stop making excuses. They want to sabotage a fucking a civilian for political gains. Stop it. I'm tired. Do I got to keep pointing all this obvious stuff to y'all? Sometimes I feel like the train of thought needs to be mapped out for y'all so that y'all can see that it's undeniable. That it won't make you right about everything, but it will make you very unlikely to be fooled or played by silly shit if you employ some of these things that I'm saying, man. Get you some honest observation, Stop getting inside their game to look for justification. Step outside the game and ask yourself, how legit is the game itself? If the game's not legit, I'm not going to care about the other stuff. And then they will convince you that you are a part of the fucking game, and you won't even know that you're a part of the game. You won't even know that you've entered the game. You won't even know it. If I'm in a football jersey in a parking lot and I just bought a brand new football and I throw my son a pass from across the fucking parking lot as we leave this sporting goods store, and then as my son catches the ball, he gets tackled by a guy in full fucking pads, helmet and all, tackled and injured seriously, to the fucking ground he goes. And the referee pops out of nowhere and says, no flag on the play, fair hit. 2nd and 10. If he does that, you cannot convince me of the legitimacy in the referee's call according to the game of football when I'm telling you that I might look like I was in a football game, but motherfucker, I was not in a football game. I didn't know that that's what y'all was doing out here. Nobody told me. I didn't hear no whistle, bro. I ain't been practicing. This motherfucker's a pro. Ran my fucking 20-year-old son the fuck. Oh, see, you see what I'm saying? There's an unfair advantage when you don't even know you're in the game, then they blow the whistle on you. This is what they do. So don't tell me about, oh, well, the voting process goes like this, and then the electoral college, Shut the fuck up. I know, and I don't care. Weirdos. You should be able to say this to people, then they go, well, then I don't know if I can approach anybody the same way again after I heard Trey say this shit. I can't encourage you guys to vote. I got to legitimize the idea of voting first. No one does that. You just go right to the vote, and when I say I'm not fucking doing it, then you go, oh, all right. Like a pussy. Ha! Like a dummy. Like you got to remind me of the civil rights as if I am not aware of that. Now you got to school me because this might encourage. I know that already. I considered that when I said fuck that shit. Tired of stupid people. Stupid people that bring along the assumption that everybody else must be dumb if they don't agree with them. Me not agreeing with you don't mean that I'm stupid. That's weird to me. Y'all are weirdos. Fuck, man. Damn, man. Damn. Now, in regards to social contact that we have with each other out here, I want to bring up something that a few people brought up to me and said that it sounded like it was no good, it wasn't right. One of them, shout out to Zachary K. Hubbard at Gematria Effect News 25 and Gematria Effect Sports. Go check those channels out if you want to know what Gematria is. It's entertaining, at the very least, more entertaining than the bullshit sports that they got you watching. And if there's even this much of a chance of that shit being real, you deserve it. You owe it to yourself to give yourself an honest chance to recognize it and then adhere to it and pay attention to it in that angle or not. But it's up to you. But you deserve to be able to choose for yourself, to be aware of it, and then to choose for yourself if that's what it is that's going on, okay? So keep that in mind. But Zach was one of the people who said that me with this idea of the platinum rule is inaccurate. It's just not true. But this is what I mean by the platinum rule. The platinum rule says, don't treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat them the way they want to be treated. And very obvious, you can't even describe the difference between the golden rule and the platinum rule without literally saying out loud why one is better than the other. It's that simple, Zach. It's that simple, Zach. Leaving it up to introspective bullshit and emotional baggage that people bring to the table to think that they can just treat you in ways that they have been treated like in the past and that they've gotten it over, even if they believe that it made them stronger. Tough love and all that other shit. Tough love don't work with everybody. If tough love is seen like something that could be abrasive and aggressive in your life, but you found a way to benefit from it and you really don't doubt it that much, you might even employ the practice of giving a tough love, you have to know that some people are so fucking sensitive that what it is that you could have gotten across to them with a little bit of love and care and sincerity and sweet talking might have worked better than and I just called myself out on this a few days ago, that I am too abrasive sometimes. And that I shouldn't be. And I'm abrasive like that because I wish for people to be straightforward with me, loud and clear, not worry about my fucking feelings and that they hurt my feelings, because all I want is the fucking truth, even if it fucking hurts. That's the way I see myself inside, and thus I project. Like everybody else doing the fucking projections, this is what we do, whether it's positive or negative. Everybody projects. So the best way to keep projection from influencing how you interact with other people and how they perceive you You address them the way they want to be addressed. You do this with kids. I can't talk to my kids with all this grown man fucking talking shit like that. Sometimes you got to dumb it down and talk to the kids and then treat them the way they want to be treated. With kindness and care. Kid gloves. You have to do this with kids sometimes. You have to do this shit with women too sometimes. It's all about what it is that you, how you say it, not what it is that you say when it comes to women. It's how you say it, not what you say. I've heard this from women before. I can only say that in the field research that I've been doing throughout my life dealing with women, I kind of find it to be true. I've had women recoil at something I was saying because of how I said it. And if I would have reflected to say, what is it that you want to receive from me in this exchange? And how should I deliver this message to you so that you receive it with the intention that I had and not be misunderstood by me yelling, cussing, calling you a pussy and all that type of shit. Come on, man. It's obvious. And if you treat people the way they want to be treated, now that makes someone. Zach used an extreme example that I gave as if this was the basis of my entire argument about the platinum rule. It wasn't. And I think you kind of misunderstood that. What I said was that if you go on the golden rule and people treat other people the way they themselves want to be treated, it's absolutely true. When people don't give a fuck about themselves and they have no care for their own life, especially if they've gone to the degree of being like wanting to self-check out, and people have gone that far, there is no reasonable expectation that this person is going to honestly value and care about other people's lives. And they might find people who they soft on. Their kids, maybe. You might be capable and willing to get into the self-checkout line and still love and care and want to protect for your kids, and you haven't casted their lives value off to the side like it meant nothing. You know, people might find those two trains of thought existing inside of themselves, and I get that. But it's very hard to get respect out of a person who is so damaged inside that they do not respect themselves. They're disappointed in themselves. They lack self-esteem and self-worth. People who lack self-esteem and self-worth are not going to treat you in the best of fucking ways. And you fucking know it, Zach. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Ha! And it would be best if it was a default position for people to say, I keep my introspective fucking bullshit to myself when I'm not happy with myself. I just interact with other people the way they want to be interacted with. And if you do that, you mitigate some of the damage and the aggression that might come off when people fucking project their own dark introspective fucking bullshit onto other people. That's exactly what happens in the world, and you know it. That's exactly what happens. So I get what you're saying, that the golden rule sounds good, but it leaves room for an error or misunderstanding or miscommunication when introspectively who you are is not going to align with other fucking people. So you treat people the way you want to be treated, you're going to realize that the tough love, because I've realized it, that the tough love and the overly aggressive blunt truth and shit like that scares people, hurts people's fucking feelings and all types of shit, which I really don't give a fuck about. But just because I don't give a fuck that has that response doesn't mean that I can't also recognize that it's a difference between the way I perceive information, the way other people perceive and receive information. If there's a difference, there will be a conflict and there will be a miscommunication when I had good intentions, but somebody wasn't capable of perceiving it as being good intentions, because I thought that they would perceive it as good intentions because I did my entire life. The tough love is not so bad. That I would rather come direct, straightforward, while disregarding my feelings about said information, because I would be more concerned about getting the information than having somebody protect my feelings while I live a lie. That's me. That's not everybody. If I keep projecting that shit like that, that if within, then so without type shit, man, come on, man. Zach, you know you tweaking. You even told me when I first started this shit, once you started looking at my channel or whatever, that I was kind of abrasive. And that you was like, at first when you heard me, even though you could hear my message, you knew what I was trying to say. You thought it was fucking cool. You thought it was cool. It wasn't so cool that you wouldn't then move forward to say that you thought I was a little bit abrasive. You know what that means? My conveying of the information and my perspective doesn't always vibe with everybody, even when they agree with me, and it might make them go, just off of that. Just off of that. Just off of that. See what I'm saying? Platinum rule. If I had to talk to 10 different people one at a time about my gun rights activism, I'm going to go off of their vibes and see how I need to talk to this particular person. What it is that I need to say and do to get through to them, to treat them how they want to be treated. If somebody walked up to me and the guy says, man, I feel ashamed of myself, man. This situation happened and I wish I had a gun and I kind of failed to protect my family and shit. I'm not gonna go, man, you a bitch, you a puss, you a... I'm not, I couldn't do that right then. He's already coming to me in a vulnerable state. So I can't do what it is that would have worked for me, because that would have worked for me if somebody would have told me that shit. Because I would have been like, yeah, I ain't gonna be nobody's bitch no more. That shit would have hyped me up. I like that tough love shit. It would have hyped me up. That shit don't work on everybody. Period. I gotta treat him the way he wants to be treated. If he needs a fucking slow pat on the back, and for me to ask for eye contact and tell him that it's going to be okay, bro. Maybe I got to treat him like a child to get him to go. I bought a gun the next day after talking to Trey. Fuck that. I wouldn't have bought a gun, nigga. Then I go, mission accomplished. Because I couldn't talk to you the way I could talk to this other dude. This other dude, I called him a bitch and all this and that and showed him my gun like, bro, this one right here, get this one. Let me tell you about the features on this firearm. And if I did all that, it just went, some guys go, you got me, bro. You got me, man. I was being a bit of a bitch and whatnot. Some guys will react like that. And I guarantee you, those guys that will react favorably to the tough love when I deliver it the way I deliver it, I bet you I'm not the first time they have somebody approach him with fucking helpful information in a tough love kind of way. I wouldn't be the first one. That's why he accepted it. When people are not used to that and they do not want to be treated in that way, you can put up walls around you and other people with that shit. Zach has heard that shit about his delivery before, and so have I. Not that I fucking care, but I don't have to care for me to understand what it is that I'm talking about. And I know what it is that I'm saying. The platinum rule is better. I approach the people and say, hey, let me fill you out. I'm gonna determine, regardless of what the fuck I think works for me, what it is that works for you. Good teachers do this well. Every teaching method is not gonna work for every child. You have to treat them in the idea of educating the kid. You got to treat them the way they want to be treated. It's the best way to get through to them. One cookie cutter way to teach all these fucking kids in the school system is led to what? We can examine that. Hey, you know what I'm talking about, Zach? This fucking school system is whack anyway. It's built to do all of that. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. The platinum rule is actually fucking dope. It sounds like it. When you say the two of them out loud, one of them sounds better than the other one, period. It's almost undebatable, really. Treat people how you want to be treated. You just put the ball in my court about how I'm going to treat other people. It's way better if the ball is in their court. And I do that ball in your court shit all the fucking time. All the time. I'm out here with the hugs first. Anybody who get aggressive, I'm going to say, ah, that was you that did that. You know that, right? So when I get aggressive, then you know that that's what it is. And you got to know that you chose that. I like putting the ball in other people's court. And if I got to use other people's fucking guidance, suggestions, and social cues on how to treat them, I'm not going to go introspectively to say, in this situation, I am just going to treat you like this because this is what works for me. And I never stop in a second to fucking think about what works for you, what it is that I'm going to do and say to you in regards to trying to fucking help you. I never stop for that. I would have to stop for that. Or else I would ruin some potential connections between me and other people. RPM Trey Vietnam and this bitch Wu Bang get a gun. The platinum rule, man, says treat people the way they want to be treated. Don't decide for yourself. I don't know who raised you. I don't know what your religion or your culture says, or none of that shit. But that shit don't gotta affect me. Wait for me to cue. Wait for me to cue you. I'll give you the cues about how to treat me, how to interact with me, what it is that will and will not work for me. I can't leave it up to your father's grandfather who fucking raised your grandfather, then raised you, raised your father, then raised you, and now you got this fucking built-in idea that dealing with people, dealing with women, dealing with kids, dealing with other men, how you deal with your own emotions, and then what projections are socially or culturally accepted in all of that. That shit gets fucking scrambled up, bro, and I don't trust people enough for them to approach me thinking that they're gonna treat me the way they want to be treated. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Now we're nowhere. I don't like that. Platinum rule is fucking dope, Zach. I wasn't an idiot or missing the mark by saying that. We can look at all of the little micro issues that you can apply this to and go, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not saying that because I think what you misunderstood is that when I said that, because if people want to be fucking harmed and blah, 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 then they will think that it's okay to harm you. And what I meant by that is highly magnified in the movie Juice with Tupac and Omar Epps. In the movie, Tupac's character Bishop walks up to Q, Omar Epps' character, while he's at a locker. And what has happened is that Bishop, Tupac's character, after he had already revealed himself to be a villain, right? He says, well, now that I'm the villain, I know what I deserve. Aggression towards me. He came there to make sure dude wasn't gonna squeal, go snitch on him about the shit, or attack him. But he thought he was too much of a pussy to attack him. But he did show up to try and tell him, don't go telling people what the fuck we've been involved in lately, bro. He came there to tell him that, right? In the midst of that, Bishop is telling this dude, he literally says, listen, I ain't shit. I ain't never gonna be shit. And you less of a man than me. So as soon as I decide that you ain't gonna be shit, pow, so be it. That's what he said to him, word for word. Right in the script, that's what it says, right? You know what Tupac's character is saying right then? I've already earned all of the aggression and opposition from you. So I know I'm the bad guy and I know you're my enemy. We're already there. So now that you're my enemy, I can tell you that the way I would treat me if I were you, I'm already prepared for it. Don't go snitching, because I know that's what you want to do. I got a feeling that's what you want to do. I think you too pussy to fight, but you ain't gonna fight me. But if you try to fight me, I'll fight you back. Fuck that. He came with all of this anticipation that what he had done had put him in a certain position or perspective, that he just anticipated all of that aggression, all of that opposition. And in doing so, he says, I'm going to treat you the way I think I deserve to be treated. It's not always the way people want to be treated. Sometimes people treat other people the way they deserve to be treated. Ding, 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 ding. That happens. Because a lot of times what people want and what people deserve gets mixed up. And your honesty deep inside your heart, people know what it is that they deserve. And then they accept it as a potential reality. Nobody who steals a car and then crashes the car and kills 2 people in the fucking car crash gets arrested by being pulled from the fucking wreckage of the fucking car accident, will go into court and say, I don't deserve none of the punishment y'all want to give me. When you're guilty, you know you're guilty. When you're guilty, you know you're guilty, right? So there's a certain level of acceptance of the punishment once you do that. And in that same line of thinking, when you say treat people the way you want to be treated, people will treat you the way they deserve to be treated. Especially if they see some sign that you are no better than them, that you are no different. They'll go in. Women out here dressing half naked and shit. If you sexualize yourself by doing that, and that is what you're doing, I don't care what women say about this, that is what you're doing. It's a natural cue for guys to pay attention to the women with the least clothes on to see if that's a signal that something else is going on inside their minds and in their sexual energy, because you're displaying sexual energy. It just is what it is. That don't mean that you deserve sexual assault. No, the fuck you don't. I'm just saying that this is going to be the reason to make it more likely that it would happen. And that's just an honest observation. So like, just chill out with the woman power shit. Y'all always go too fucking far. Black people with the black power shit, y'all go too far. Everybody go too far when they're trying to stand up for themselves. There's always 1 or 2 steps beyond what was even necessary to make it fucking clear who you are and what you want. What was I saying about the women and the thing? Oh yeah, so if you do that, let's say you dress half naked, and then you actually indulge in the lifestyle that might be implied by you being half naked on a Friday night, downtown, walking bar to bar, half naked, drunk, letting go of your inhibitions. You're going to look like something to some guys. I don't care what you say. We all know what that fucking looks like, because a lot of you women put a lot of effort into not looking like that. And to those women, you know what the fuck I'm saying, because you try not to be that. So you know what it is that I'm saying. Stop playing. Because y'all hate the way messages are delivered, right? Once a woman does that, if she's out there in the streets, being a thought, being a bop, being a jump off, being a hoe, if you're like that and guys know that, they will not respect boundaries that you might put up, because they don't even believe that you mean that, or they think that just a hurdle is not a boundary. If they jump over that, then they can get the access. Once you do that, people say, you lost all of fucking possibilities of me respecting you in that way. Not finna happen. And that's something that you do to yourself when you do that. What you guys got to realize is that the expectations that people have when interacting with you is not always up to you. It's up to the person on the other end of this interaction too. And you can save yourself from that by not sexually objectifying yourself as women, and setting boundaries, and the whole demand for respect. When people say, I respect people right away or up front, or respect is given to those that give it type of shit. When you do that, there's a social interaction and a dance of it's a ballet of filling each other out to see what's okay and what's not okay. But you have to set that standard for what is and is not okay with you. If a bunch of white boys get around me dropping a nigga bomb all over the fucking place and I allow it without contesting it at all, or even trying to educate them at all about it, I just kind of let it go and laugh it off and never speak on it, I have to imagine that it's going to go further, maybe even to some nigga jokes that might even get offensive because he was rapping a song or said this and that and said nigga, and I never said hey bro. And I'm not big on the censorship of the language. I don't like none of that shit at all. But what I would do, like I had before with some of my white friends that might drop the N-bombs that I say, you're getting lucky because I'm not the kind of person that would indulge in that kind of a thing as a fucking negative thing. Like it needs to be a point of contention between me and you. Then I gotta get physical with you about this when I know you don't mean no harm, and I'll let all of that go so I can be controversial with you. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't get into conflict about that. But I will tell them, not everybody's like me. You better cover yourself because no one's going to give you time to explain if you do that around the right people. I will warn them of that. But yeah, mind your conduct around people, y'all. Because whether you notice it or not, you are telling people what is and is not okay with you. That's why when people try to troll me or try to bully me or talk that shit, I like squashing that shit because they need to know that they're going to get that conflict right back. And eventually, maybe, hopefully, the conflict that they get in return is not worth what it is that they were trying to do, and then they stop. And that's what you're looking for, that point where they say, it's not even worth it for me to do this anymore. But I like checking shit. That's just who I am. I like checking shit. What up, Rick James? Sosa? D-Codes, Gematria 101. What up, Gematria 101? Mike Cool, what up? Angel in this bitch. Yeah, the platinum rule. It is supreme. All you gotta do is just define it and say what it is, word for word, what the golden rule is and what the platinum rule is. And if you say them or write them down on paper, side by side, it will make it very clear to you that one of them is probably superior to the other one. RPM Trey Vietnam in this bitch, Wu Bang, get a gun today and stop being a bitch, okay?